What we'll see with some of these asteroid goddesses, again, next in the subsequent weeks here, that they do act as a connective tissue between certain archetypes. So Juno stationing retrograde today, this afternoon. Again, the connective tissue of the bridge. And Venus is over here and wants the peace and the ease and the comfort and the ah. And Mars is over here saying, oh, that's so boring. Give me the passion and the verve and the spunk and vitality. So that connection between them, they can be in opposition or feel like opposition. Venus in a Mars ruled sign can be detriment or in fall. And likewise with Mars in a Venus ruled sign. Oh, how does Mars operate in Venus's house? Mars comes in with his intensity and, smoking black hot leather and sits on the nice satin couch of Venus and, melts it. Venus is like, oh my gosh, you ruined my beautiful couch. And Mars is like, screw the couch, baby. Come on over here and sit with me. Uh, But oh, the couch. Oh, in that dynamic between the two of them. What do we do? Well, welcome to Juno. Now, mythologically, in Roman mythology, Juno is the wife of Jupiter, Hera, the wife of Zeus. It's very interesting, the different Greek and Roman names. I want to explore whys and wherefores of that sometime. Lest I digress. Juno, the wife of Jupiter. So, what's Jupiter doing in Roman or Greek mythology? He's out there. I'm the king of the world, and this is the way it is, and you're going to do it this way. I'm the king of the gods, so you're all going to do what I say. You're going to follow me. I mean, I'm so big. I was almost a second sun in this solar system. Didn't quite have enough mass to condense into a little thermonuclear activity there, but nevertheless, it is still pretty darn big. And so that bigness, that joviality, right? We ruler of Sagittarius, anyone with prominent Sagittarius in their chart know that we can have a tendency to go too far. Not that we're too much. I mean, if we're too much, it just means you can't handle the fire, but it's just so much or so big, it can be a little bit overwhelming. So it's not like Saturn comes along and says, all right, squash. I mean, that would be really rough for Jupiter. So how can Jupiter stay in his effluvian, buoyant self? How can Jupiter stay in his wisdom and his healthy, wise judgment, without going too far, too big, too crazy, too much, too dot, 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 dot? People wouldn't give him any credit after a while. But there was someone behind the throne. And the individual behind the throne, who does the king consult with? His wife. So now we know who really wore the pants of Olympus. It was actually Hera Juno. Jupiter, I think you're being a little too much. Oh, come on, honey. Dude, reel it in a little bit. Oh, okay. And then Jupiter makes some grand announcement, and everyone's, yay, that was so wise and so deep. Well, guess what? That wisdom came from Juno. And so Juno then percolates up. I mean, again, this is in subsequent weeks where we'll go deeper, go more deeply. Perfect participle there. Go a little more deeply into this archetype. But for now, we can just say that Juno, astrologically in our own chart, represents what we need in relationship to maintain a healthy power dynamic, a healthy give and take, a healthy understanding of the balance between two or more individuals. If we consider Libra, the sign of the scales, and on one side is my dish, on the other side is your dish, and this is my dancing space, and this is your dancing space. Don't step on my toes. Well, what do we do if somebody's a little too much or somebody's not following in the rhythm? We have a little dial in classic scale archetypology. And the center of the scale, at the center of the bar, there's is at the center of the fulcrum there, there's a little dial that can adjust the balance. Oh, this is a little heavy and this is a little light. Well, what are we going to do? We're going to adjust that fulcrum in the center that then brings things into the balance, into the harmony, into the equality that we're looking for. That's Juno. So someone has Juno, everyone has Juno somewhere in their chart, and so the natal Juno then says, this is what you need in relationship. This is what you need from the other person. This is how we make those adjustments. This is my communication style in relationship. Very simply, this is my needs in relationship. This is how we balance power. There's so much more to it. But very simply, the justice, the harmony, the peace is not something that is always just natural. We've got to negotiate it. We've got to talk about it. We've got to engage it. There's our Juno. Juno's now retrograde, or as of this afternoon, will be retrograding, meaning we are all being given an opportunity this summer. I think Juno doesn't station a direct again until early to mid-September. So we've got this summer. If anyone here has experienced relationship challenge, relationship difficulty, even relationship curiosity, well, a retrograde. Yes, thank you. This is where we give thanks for retrogrades. Why? Because retrogrades review, retrogrades revisit, retrogrades go back over things that we have learned or experienced in order to gain a different, augmented perception of whatever went down. And so so Juno, geez, that's a retrograde of what? Uh, 3 months roughly. So what's been happening in your relationships? And that's relationship with self too. What's been happening in your relationships and your needs of relationships and the power dynamic, any power struggles, any conversation about, hey, how do we find this reciprocity? How do we, dissolve any transactionality? And how do we honor and respect the other person or persons' needs in order to come to that nice Venus place of opening us up to a clearer pathway of the Mars passion of the So to connect the with the that's our Juno. That's our work for the next, I don't know. It's been for sure the last 3 months and definitely now the next 6 months.